Om Gama Ganeshaya Namah. My friends, in Jyotish Shastra, I nowadays see many charts of young childs are given for delineation. But to be very honest, in classical Jyotish, it is clearly mentioned that 12 years is the time before which we should not see a chart. In fact, Parashara in the longevity chapter in the Khanda 1, Uttar Khanda, there he has clearly mentioned, he actually mentioned 24 years. In fact, in the Panchaswara theory also, it was 24 years we have to wait, a post of which only the life and the events can be seen. But generally, in Jatak Parijat or generally in Nath, in major classics, all the other classics, it is said that till 12 years, at least, a child chart should not be seen unless there is a major sickness, major problem, major dosha in the chart, major unfortunate event, only then we should see. The Sutram says the reason why the 12 years has been given. It is said that the first 4 years, a child actually, the Balarista, if any problems come before the 12 years, it is known as Balarista. There are many indications of Balarista, but why it comes? Because the first 4 years, a child actually gets, the good thing or the bad thing depending on the karma of the mother. The next 4 years is for the father, and then the next 4 years is basically for his or her own previous life karmas. So, during that time, a child actually is like, what is a free will? He has got no understanding of a free will when he's 12 years old. When it's like, 4 years old, toddler, 6 years old. So, what is his free will? He's basically a baby with full innocence. So, it is the mother and then the father and he's then the own the previous thing till 12 years a chart unless there is some majority problems should not be seen. Now this is an example which we will see in the screen, this particular screen. This is a chart of a child. Now this is for a academic discussion we are doing. So to be seen from a technical point of view, what I mean to say, how we will understand that this particular sufferings is denoted or because of the karma of the mother, and what is the role of a mother then if that problems is coming within the first 4 years, similarly the next 4 years for the father and the next 4 years for the jatak himself. So this small child actually got diagnosed with a very major illness for which the eye there will be an operation in the retina. The chances is there that that operation can actually means that she might have to lose one eye to to take care of the illness which has happened, which is very unfortunate. So as we see the chart, the particularly the problem has happened in the right eye, which is Mars, and we can see Mars is based in the Marakastan. Mars is the Maraka, the second house and the seventh house are the Maraka, which can kill you. So particularly the second lord is afflicted by the Rahu and can be clearly seen in the Maraka house. And there is a sutrams that Venus, who is a karaka of basically vision, and Sun, who is a karaka of eye, and specifically right eye also, if they're together, especially in the Cancer sign or any water sign, it can give basically, the problem regarding to vision. It can be color blindness or even it can be blindness. Here we see Sun is with Venus, aspected by a Saturn, a retro Saturn, aspected by a Mars. Jupiter is although aspecting, but Jupiter is also retro, and Jupiter is a sex lord. For a Libra Lagna Jataka, Jupiter is not a benefic lord. Currently, the Dasha, as we see, is of Sun and Saturn. The Dasha is basically of Sun and Saturn. This particular Dasha. Sun and Saturn. Now the question is, we know that when moon is there in the sixth house, eighth house, 12th house for a small child, and the ascendant is aspected by malefic planet, then sorry, then the problem regarding two, and there is no benefic aspect in the ascendant, then there can be issue regarding to the particularly Balarista. Here we see that the Lagna is occupied by a malefic Ketu. Saturn is aspecting the Lagna. Mars is aspecting the Lagna. So basically, this particular Kendra house, we can see that no benefics are based in out here. But the question is ki why this Balarishta has come during the Sun period? Because we know the Sun is very strong in the 10th house. So here we see that Sun and Saturn Mahadasha, it has happened. Now Saturn is also the Sun is the 11th lord and Saturn is the Yoga Karaka. But still this deadly disease has come. If you see the transit, if you see the transit, it is quite clear that Ketu is transiting in trying to Saturn. Saturn is transiting in trying to Ketu, and Rahu is over Jupiter, aspecting the second house. And Mars has gone to the Gemini, but Mars is and Mars will be debilitated till June in the Cancer. So that means the weakness of the second lord is purely coming up. But again, why the dasha of Saturn and Sun? Because Sun is the 11th lord and Saturn is the Yoga Karaka planet. Now coming back, the theory says that the first 4 years a child suffers because of the mother, then like the next 4 years for the father, and the next 4 years for he himself. What we have to do is, since the first 4 years is because of the mother, we have to prioritize, and the rule is to see the chart from the moon. So this is a Lagna chart, the one which is above is a Lagna chart, and this is a moon chart. From the moon, we see the second lord, which is second lord is Maraka, and again the right lord, right? So from the Lagna, the right is afflicted. From the moon, the particularly the second house is afflicted, and it is Saturn. Similarly, Sun, who is the ninth lord, has actually gone to the eighth house. So it has given the Pitradosh, and it is aspecting Saturn. So basically the dasha of the second house and the planet based in the eighth house. Here the sun, since it has come to the eighth house and it is sitting with the sixth lord, and Sun and Venus are enemies, aspected by Saturn and then also aspected by Mars, dual aspect of the malefics. This has actually damaged this particular combination, and hence from the moon, the problem regarding to the Balarishta is basically more evident. Now we are going to the mother's chart. What we see, what we see that the mother is having the same Libra rising, and the fifth lord, which is the Santan fifth lord, is basically in the Lagna with the debilitated sun. So sun is getting the Nijvanga, but sun and Saturn are together. Saturn is exalted. The fifth lord is exalted. Now, if you see the degree, the sun is 25 degree and 8 minute, and Saturn is 25 degree 24 minute. So that means this Saturn is completely burned and combust. So that means, carefully if you notice, the particular Lagna has got this combination of Sun and Saturn. And for the child, this Sun and Saturn Dasha is only running. And this particular Saturn, already the intimation was there that it is combusted. And hence this Saturn or the child is here suffering. If you see the dasha is basically of Jupiter and Mars. So Jupiter and Mars. Now, for a mother, the particular sixth house and the 11th house are the maraka for the child, because the sixth house is Jupiter, which is the second house of the fifth house, and the eighth house is basically seventh house from the fifth house is basically the mark of the child itself. So that means the child is sitting with the maraka lord together, and the dasha is happening of the maraka lord itself. So if we see from the mane the the from the dasha also, it is a troublesome dasha where the particularly this the second house, second lord dasha is going on. Anyway, we are not going what is the for final solution and what is not the solution, but we can see that whenever the sun is there with the Saturn, and it is so closely conjunct, when sun is afflicted, first of all it is debilitated, then it is so close with the Saturn, creating that particular problem of a debilitation. And the ninth lord with a node, this is a clear cut pitridosh which is there in the chart. This particular lady has got that signification that his particular fifth house, fifth lord, which also represents the Santan, is completely damaged by the afflicted sun. So, coming back, the child is just 3 4 years, 3 3.5 years old, and going through the Sun Saturn Dasha, which was in the mother's chart. So this particular suffering came to the child. So this is how the karma of the first 4 years of a mother, it actually comes, and it actually affect the child, even if the indications are not there in the chart, even if the Jyotish cannot understand from where it has come. you know this particular combinations, this particular karma of the mother can affect the event of the particular child. Similarly, for the next 4 years from the father. So whenever there is some kind of a question regarding the health issue of a child, if she or she is below 12 years, first of all, you need to understand whether it is the first 4 years. We need to focus from the moon, what is happening and where is the moon, and see the mother's chart as well. Similarly, after 4 to 8, you should see the chart. Then you should see the sun chart. From the sun, you should see, and also the father's chart, to identify the problem. You will see the problem, where the problem is. And the next 4 years, you should see from the Shudarshana chakra, and then give your decision. Only you should see when the health is problematic, or there is some remedies required regarding the longevity or the strength of the particular jatak. So this is how the karma flows from the parents to the child, from the child to the parents also it goes. So this is the Ranu Bandhana, and this is how actually we are all interconnected in this particular world. In the first 12 years is irrespective, the Maharishis have said that irrespective of the chart, anything can happen. So during, if the only thing what people should do, try to mitigate the problem through mantras, through spiritual remedies, as well as through scientific remedies. So this is how you can solve it. And like I have said, you can try to identify the problem from the mother's chart and from the child's chart, or the father's chart from the child chart, and then give your judgment. So thank you. I hope you have understood what I mean to say, how the thing go forward from a family to a family, how the problems of a parents goes down to the kids, and Balarista is why, you should also focus the mother's chart and then the father's chart, depending on the age, and try to give a solution to the particular kid. What needs to be done, you should guide that particular child. So thank you, my friends. Any question, you can send it to me.